a musical, technically, but it's more a revue.
It's a musical review.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Or maybe a cabaret?
Guess kind of halfway between old school reviews and the new song cycle. I guess it was a stepping point to the development of the new song cycle. But I'm going to go with that. A piece of dramatically linked music theatre that not necessarily driven by plot.
Sex in the City meets Friends.
A play, but sung.
A montage of different musical numbers, little vignettes, little stories within a much broader circle of stories.
It's a picture, a snapshot of 4 really strong characters with stuff going on in their lives that everyone can relate to, and they say things to each other that I've always wanted to say to people. So, I mean, it's a review, it is a musical, it's a cabaret, but in terms of a different level, it speaks to me really strongly on that emotional level.
I don't need to hear from you. I'm perfect at the low west. I'm tired of being the greatest girl a man has ever met, but I don't want to make a commitment to you, huh? I see, you don't want to tell the truth. I don't know, you just went out for me. It's not who inside your grandchild. Yes, your mother was a mess, so that is why you can't receive a woman's love. I could tell less. I don't need to know it's your fault. Touch your balls. It doesn't fit with sick, deprived, misunderstood, weak. You're just a bitch. Oh! Wanna be my friend? Who bought you as a friend? Is my name on this lease? What? Is my name on this lease? Yeah! Well, then get out of my apartment! I'm chasing you everywhere and out the door.
I guess the doors are thematic in terms of how the show is structured. Like the opening number leads you into all of these vignettes, and that opening doors and seeing what's inside and getting a brief glance of it is how the show is kind of structured. And that's the setup for it.
Doors represent new challenges.
Opportunities, new beginnings.
New challenges, new beginnings, and also things closing. New chapters.
Relationships is probably the best one for this show because it's so much about that. So relationships and people and life and history and love and craziness.
Unknown, and the same time opening them is like a discovery. We get to open a lot of doors during this show you who's inside. I think that's the biggest thing about this show is it's the people, and it's not just the characters that the songs represent, but it's also me and Roz and Tony. You know, we're all out there giving of ourselves, and I think showing the audience themselves as well. So I guess the doors are people, they're you and me. I'm a door, open me, anytime.
That his fingers do the walking when he's back on.
Sexy. Growl! Growl!
Love.
Passion. Passion's the best one for it.
Fun.
Conflict, aggression.
Angry.
Excitement.
Sexy times.
Fire. Hot.
Fabulousness.
Times he seems a bit elusive, way off in his private place. I guess he can't be my exclusive when he's back on base.
Well, Roz Pappalardo. I play in an independent band called Women in Docs, and I also have just released my first solo record, Alternative Country. Tour around Australia, tour to America quite regularly, and I love singing. I perform in theatre because I like to stretch myself. I like to stretch my voice. I find that when I play in my bands, I tend to, you tend to sit in a comfortable space with your voice, and doing theatre pushes me out of that. I like to be challenged.
Getting everybody together in that room in that first rehearsal was the biggest buzz. Every single person involved in this show came from completely different places, completely different experiences, and you bring a lot of different people together, and sometimes you worry about clashes and things not fitting together, but I think that we really just clicked and we were able to create something that was a little piece of all of us.
We all have very different strengths in different areas. So, you know, we had Tony, who's like the dancing legend and, you know, kind of cabaret man. And then we had, you know, James, who's coming from New York City to play piano on this show. So that was really exciting. And he's cute too. And then, you know, there was Miranda, who is a real, you know, doesn't give herself enough credit, but a real all-rounder in terms of an amazing voice. And then me, the rock chick. So, you know, we sort of all fit in. And then we had the amazing backstage crew as well. And yeah, I think we all fit together to make a good puzzle.
There was definitely a unity amongst us all that we wanted to put on the best show possible and serve the author's original intent and serve each other's intentions and work together collaboratively and put on a good show for an audience.
It's an interesting project musically, and that was kind of what drew me to it, just because the music is so different to a lot of what contemporary music theatre is, and it's such a challenging score. It's difficult to play, difficult to learn, difficult to sing, and that's really interesting to me. And also it's beautiful and it's dramatic and it's well structured, and that's really exciting.
Before Miranda, the director, asked me, I'd never heard of the show. Miranda gave me a disc of the songs on it, and she said, I think you should listen to these songs in particular. And I did, and I texted her on my iPhone straight away after I heard those songs, and I went, I'm in. I love those songs because they are awesome. The songs are great.
They've certainly been written from a place which comes from the heart, and I think if you are a passionate artist, which I believe this collaboration of young artists are, there's a lot that you can work with and pick and select and choose from.
I do on a roof, what I do out in the rain. What kind of feelings make a man blind? What am I doing out of my mind with love?
Youth,
Envy,
tranquility,
Lost,
greed,
confusion,
calmness,
rainforest.
contemplation,
Tony. Clean guy. He's one of the good guys.
Now why defend all of us good guys, strangling in plenty, yet whining for more?
Basically the material which led me to do the show, in terms of it was musically challenging, and also I think the subject matter and the nature and the content of the show is something I personally never experienced before, and it's something that I don't think you see every day, and it's a good wake-up call.
And my father and dad on the